So this video is very important. Remember, they're changing my voice. Among other things, it's going to prove my culture is far superior to all other cultures. Okay? And if that wasn't the case, why are they provoking me every day with 22 witnesses on record? In this video, I will definitively prove that I am right about attractive females owing me their allegiance. Again, I will definitively show you with 6 points that I am right about attractive females owing me their allegiance. Let's start with this proverb and then let's get right into it. Proverbs 12:1. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid. Should the judgment of stupid people determine the direction of humanity? And if and when people should reproduce? Only a dumbass would say so. And if they thought so before watching this video, and they hear these points and they still think so, then they are dumb, and their actions show that they hate correction enough to reject it. Point number 1. The process we are using here is breaking down the facts and the evidence and analyzing why it is insane for them to date the way they do, point by point, reviewing it, posting the video on YouTube, and asking if anyone has a viable counter-argument and commenting. So part of that included me typing up this paper, thinking about it, reviewing it. Of course, I had to come up with the points first, before I typed it out, and reviewed it and so on and so forth. Kind of corrected any typos, printed it out again, what have you. Okay. This also comes with many other videos that are posted that are similar. I have been talking about females dating judgment for a decade or so in my videos, for over 3 decades in my life, but a decade or so in my videos. And it probably goes back to 2010 or 2011. Remember, I'm the son of 2 doctors, one a brain surgeon, and I have a 9-year top martial artist challenge, going back to December 20th, 2013. Okay, it's at up to $10 million from compensated, $60,000 if I'm not. It's an outdoor sparring challenge that can be completed in like 3 or 4 minutes, depending on how it goes. Okay, no one in their right mind in this economy, on top of that, would reject that challenge if they thought that they could beat me. It's simply something that would not happen. So it is insane to think that this process is flawed and that people can just avoid the arguments and and magically everything works out in their favor. That is very stupid. Point number 2. The corporations are known for being greedy and operating in an evil corporate world where only the cruel and evil survive to make lots of money. There is good boss, bad boss psychology at work and workplace bullying. 1 in 5 CEOs are said to be psychopaths. It is a narcissist-filled environment. There is sexual harassment everywhere. And many members are from fraternities that are notorious for date, rape, etc. As people confuse this, their guilt increases. As people confuse these things and their implications, their guilt increases. Obviously, every moment that they are doing these things causes their guilt to be increased more and more. Okay? So as they refuse to correct themselves because they're stupid, they're causing their guilt to increase more and more. As they confuse it, as they provoke them, run a psychological operation on them, their guilt increases. And of course, they have lots of motives from their pitiful points of view for running a psyop on me, even though it doesn't even make sense because people do not believe them. They never have believed them. In the foreseeable future, they won't believe them. And again, they do not believe them right now. Point number 3. This point is very important. The workforce and managerial classes are very much part of the corporate process and have trickle-down ill-gotten gains and guilt. Okay, again, the workforce and managerial classes are very much part of the corporate process and have trickle-down ill-gotten gains and guilt. If they were good people, they would almost certainly not be hired. And after they were hired, if they were, they would almost certainly be fired in a reasonable amount of time. How can someone say that the captain of a pirate ship is guilty, but his first mate, second mate, and third mate are innocent? That's dumber than hell, right? Now, how do social clubs and corporate families relate to the corporate structure and the salaries that people receive? How do social clubs, gentlemen's clubs, secret societies, and corporate families and corporate groups relate to the corporate structure and the salary that people receive? How does their network, why do they have that network? Reminds me of, Darth Vader. There's one meme he used to say, it said, that they don't support Darth Vader, but they support the stormtroopers. Every slut that dates somebody who's not the CEO or something in a corporation, who has financial stability, is basically saying she won't spread her legs for Darth Vader, but the stormtroopers can run a fucking train on her. Okay, it's pathetic. Point number 4. Gay people and unattractive females that catfish people have been preying on handsome, more decent men for a long time. It is very evil for females to throw guys under the bus and say, good guys finish last. Or I don't know what I was thinking dating him in regards to bad guys. Or why do I always date the bad ones? And then turn around and say that they should not submit to moral precision. Again, I want to make sure you understand this point. It is very evil for females to throw guys under the bus and say, throw good guys under the bus and say, good guys finish last. Or I don't know what I was thinking dating him in regards to bad guys. Or why do I always date the bad ones? And then turn around and say that they should not submit to moral precision. Their friends are guilty of giving them bad advice, generally speaking, as they generally are social norm fanatics, right? They fanatically enforce social norms. If they're in Nazi Germany, they would enforce Nazi social norms. If they're in communist Russia, they would fanatically enforce communist social norms. These people are not very smart, to say the least. Okay. The children of a female with bad judgment and the bad guy she reproduces with are bad. And I have never even heard of an exception to this rule, even though I'm 41 years old. Show me one case of somebody who is the child of social norm fanatics, okay, who is the child of people with bad judgment, fair weather idiots, who comes out good. Even Martin Luther King, for example, if you were to believe that he's good, he's Martin Luther King Jr., I believe his dad was a preacher too. We see the opposite, if anything. We see the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. George Bush was a scoundrel. George Bush Jr. was a scoundrel. Ken Griffey Jr., Cal Ripken Jr. Why do we see this time and time again? Point number 5. As attractive females have had horrible judgment, and they are the most sought after females, they all owe the righteous, which is just me, as I am cheated out of my right to lead by everyone else, complete submission. They had many years and many generations of the apple not falling far from the tree, and the morally precise thing for them to do is to submit. Point number 6. Avoiding these potent arguments is clearly a sign of admission of guilt. They're admitting to their guilt. Why on earth would society allow someone to scramble to get their attention with these sorts of arguments and ignore the hell out of them unless that individual was right? Thank you.